Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're exploring a case that really starts out looking like the perfect American life, a seemingly happy family in the suburbs. But it spirals into something truly dark, a story of betrayal, lies, and murder. We're focusing on the Coleman family. There was Christopher, or Chris, his wife Sherry, and their two young sons, Gareth, who was 11, and Gavin, age 9. On the surface, everything looked great. They had a nice house in Columbia, Illinois. Chris had this, pretty impressive job doing security for Joyce Meyer, the evangelist. High-paying, high-profile.
Right, and Sherry was a stay-at-home mom, seemed very devoted to the kids. They were involved in sports, church. Really the picture of a thriving, faithful family.
But then things started to get weird. In November 2008, the family apparently started getting these anonymous threats.
Yeah, not just vague stuff. We're talking emails from addresses like, destroychris@gmail.com. And
actual letters mailed to the house, too.
Yeah.
All very menacing, aimed at the whole family. And a lot of them specific things like complaining about her ministry, her finances.
Which is interesting because it immediately plants the seed. Is this related to his work? Is someone targeting him because of Joyce Meyer?
Exactly. The messages were chillingly specific too, like, tell Joyce to stop her nonsense preaching, or Chris and his family will be killed.
And you have to think about the psychological impact of that. Living with that kind of constant fear, that uncertainty, for months, it would wear anyone down.
Absolutely. It creates this cloud of dread over everything. Now, Chris did report these threats to the local police, and for a little while, things seemed to quieten down. Maybe they thought it was over.
A false sense of security, perhaps?
It seems so. Because in April 2009, another letter arrived. And this one, it felt different, more final. It said, "This is my last warning. Your worst nightmare is about to happen."
Wow. Just days later, that nightmare became real.
It did. Let's go to the morning of May 5th, 2009. Around 6:40 a.m., Chris Coleman makes a call. He calls his next-door neighbor, Justin Baroff. Now, Baroff wasn't just any neighbor. He was actually a detective with the Columbia Police Department.
Convenient, or maybe not so convenient, depending on how you look at it later.
Right. So Chris calls him, says he's just getting back from the gym, his morning workout, and he can't get hold of Sherry on the phone. He asks Justin, can you go check on them?
And for Detective Baroff, hearing that, especially knowing about the threats they'd reported, alarm bells must have gone off immediately.
Absolutely. He didn't just pop over.
No, his instincts kicked in. He called for backup First Officer Jason Donaldson. He clearly sensed something was seriously wrong before even setting foot inside.
So Baroff and Donaldson get there. No answer at the door. They find an unlocked basement window and make entry. And the first thing that hits them is this incredibly strong smell. Red spray paint. Fresh.
And then they started seeing it.
Yeah. Messages scrawled in red paint. On the kitchen table, something like "punished" or "I'm watching." Mm-hmm. The initial reports varied slightly.
Chilling.
And then leading up the stairs, another painted message. "You have paid."
Yeah.
Upstairs. That's where they found them. Sherry, in her bed. Gareth and Gavin, in their own rooms, all dead.
Strangled.
Yes. The scene description is brutal. Sherry's body showed signs of a struggle, scratch marks. Her skin was discolored. It was clear she hadn't just passed away.
And the boys, just unimaginable, found the same way, lifeless.
While the officers are inside processing this horror, Chris Coleman pulls up, comes home. He's told to stay outside, obviously. He doesn't know the full extent yet. But when word filters out that there are fatalities,
he apparently breaks down.
Completely. Described as inconsolable grief, trying to push past the officers to get inside the house. A scene of utter devastation, it seemed. So the police take Chris in for questioning, naturally. Let's look at his initial statement. He lays out his morning pretty clearly. Woke up at 5 a.m., whispered to Sherry it was time to get up. She usually got up with him, apparently. Left for his run, he says, around 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
Then tried calling her maybe an hour 15 later, couldn't reach her, got worried and called Justin. He also described the night before as totally normal, happy even. They had pasta, chicken, pizza, watched Batman Returns. Said Sherry fell asleep in his arms, really painting this picture of domestic bliss right up until the end.
Right. But here's where experienced detectives started noticing things. While he's crying, talking about how happy they were, he never asked one crucial question.
Which was?
How did they die? His wife and 2 sons are dead, and he doesn't ask the cause. That's highly unusual for a grieving family member. It's often the very first thing people want to know.
Yeah, it is strange.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, his behavior. Police noted he kept pulling his long sleeves down over his hands, almost hiding his arms. He even asked for a blanket, supposedly because he was cold, but it also served to keep his arms covered. It just felt off. Like maybe he was concealing something.
Interesting. So the police are already getting suspicious. Then Chris mentions someone, a woman named Tara Lynn.
Ah, yes.
He brings her up, but sort of downplays it. Says she's just an old high school friend of Cherie's. Claims she'd shown the family around Florida on a trip, took the kids to Disney World.
Just a friend.
Just a friend.
Okay.
But the police weren't buying the casual connection, especially with the other flags. They started digging into Tara Lynn, and what they found blew the Just Friends story wide open. Explicit emails between Chris and Tara, sexually suggestive photos, even a video of them together.
Wow.
It revealed a full-blown affair that had been going on for about 6 months. And the timing, it lined up perfectly with when those anonymous threats started appearing.
There it is. The potential motive starts to crystallize.
Exactly. It turned out Chris was using his work trips, flying around with Joyce Meyer as cover to meet up with Tara. The whole Disney World story was likely part of that facade.
And Tara Lynn herself confirmed it, didn't she?
She did. She told police Chris had promised to leave Cherie for her. They were planning a future, talking about marriage, even names for kids they might have together.
So this completely dismantles his initial story. He wasn't just casually mentioning a friend. He was trying to hide a serious affair and a plan for a whole new life. That deepens suspicion immensely.
Absolutely. And the evidence just kept piling up against him. Think about the house security, for instance.
Right. They were supposedly getting death threats for months.
But no alarm system, no cameras, nothing. And that basement window the police used to get in, it was just unlocked.
Doesn't add up if you genuinely fear for your family's safety. It sounds more like someone wanted entry to be possible, maybe to fit the narrative of an intruder.
And remember those scratches on his arms the police noticed?
Yeah, the ones he was trying to hide.
He claimed he got them fixing a cable antenna on the roof.
Okay, plausible explanation, maybe.
Except forensics checked the antenna meticulously, swabbed it for DNA, found absolutely nothing belonging to Chris Coleman. His story was a lie.
Caught out. What else?
The neighbor, Justin Barov, the detective, he'd actually set up a security camera aimed at the Coleman's mailbox after the threats started, hoping to catch whoever was leaving the letters.
Oh, that's smart. Did it catch anyone?
It caught someone, all right. It caught Chris Coleman himself, planting the threatening letters in his own mailbox.
No way. So he faked the entire thing, the letters, the stalker.
The whole thing, video proof, and the emails.
Yeah.
The threatening ones like destroy Chris. Investigators traced the IP address.
Let me guess.
Back to Chris's own computer. He sent them himself.
Wow. The level of planning, the deceit, it's staggering.
Then came the autopsy results. The medical examiner estimated the time of death for Cherie and the boys was around 3 a.m.
3 a.m. But Chris said he left for his run at 5:30.
Exactly. He couldn't have whispered goodbye to Cherie at 5 a.m. if she'd already been dead for 2 hours. Her injuries, the bruising, the ruptured blood vessels around her eyes, it all pointed to her being dead long before Chris supposedly left the house. His alibi completely crumbled.
It's just piece after piece locking him in.
And his behavior afterwards, it just got colder. On the day of his family's funeral, he sent Tara Lynn a text message.
What did it say?
Just, I miss you.
Unbelievable.
People also saw him throwing away memorial items left at the house, teddy bears, flowers, cards for his dead wife and kids, just tossing them out.
Heartless. Utterly heartless.
And the final nail, that red spray paint used for the messages. Police found the receipt, purchased by Chris Coleman.
So they had him tied to the planning, the execution, the staging, everything.
Everything. Let's try to piece together what the investigation suggests really happened. The day before, May 4th, Gareth, the older son, asks if he and Gavin could sleep over at a friend's house. Brandon, the friend, was turning 9.
A normal kid request.
But Chris says no. Uncharacteristically firm about it, apparently. Tells them it's not a good night for a sleepover. He needed them home.
Sealing their fate. Because he needed his whole family gone to enact his plan.
Which brings us to the motive. Why go to such horrific lengths?
It seems to boil down to his job and his affair. He wanted this new life with Tara Lynn, but feared a divorce would ruin him professionally.
How so?
Working for a major ministry like Joyce Meyer's often comes with strict morality clauses. Adultery is usually grounds for immediate termination, especially in a high-visibility role like head of security. A divorce might also be heavily frowned upon.
So he felt trapped.
Apparently so. He'd even asked someone at the ministry hypothetical questions about the consequences of an affair versus a divorce. He knew it would likely cost him his job, his status, his income.
So instead of facing divorce and unemployment,
He chose murder. Eliminating his family was, in his twisted logic, a way to avoid the personal and professional fallout, wipe the slate clean, and start over with Tara without scandal.
the timeline suggests that around 3 a.m. on May 5th, after everyone was asleep, he strangled Cherie first, then went to his son's rooms and killed Gareth, then Gavin.
Horrifying.
Then he spent time staging the scene, spray painting the walls, the table, trying to make it look like the fictional stalker did it.
The one he invented.
Yes. After cleaning himself up, making sure there were no obvious traces, he leaves for his run at 5:43 a.m., creating his alibi, then makes the call to Justin Baroff to discover the bodies. A calculated, cold-blooded sequence.
It's just executed with terrifying precision.
And the saddest part? Cherie might have suspected something. Friends later said she knew about the affair.
She knew.
Apparently so. She was heartbroken but still loved him, wanted to save the marriage. Her ringtone for him was reportedly Jason Mraz's song, Lucky.
That's tragic irony.
But she also told a friend something incredibly chilling. She said, and this is according to witness statements, "If anything happens to me and the boys, it's Christopher Coleman."
Wow. So she had this deep unease, this premonition about him. She saw the darkness, even if she didn't want to believe it.
It seems that way. 2 weeks after the murders, on May 19, 2009, with all this evidence mounting, Christopher Coleman was arrested. Charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, he pleaded not guilty.
But the evidence was just overwhelming. The forensics, the digital trail, the CCTV, the lies, the motive.
It was. The reaction, though, was split, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite telling. Chris's parents, who were deeply religious, maintained his innocence. They clung to the idea he was framed, maybe by the stalker he invented, or even by Tara Lynn.
Denial in the face of facts.
Perhaps, but Cherie's family and friends, they saw him for what he was. They spoke out, demanded justice, calling him a monster who destroyed their loved ones for his own selfish reasons.
Ultimately, the jury agreed with the evidence. Christopher Coleman was found guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison. No chance of parole.
Justice served in that sense.
The Coleman family story. It started as this image of suburban perfection, faith, success. But it became this awful warning about the darkness that can hide behind a smile, behind a carefully built facade.
Absolutely. It was all about selfishness, wasn't it? A terrifying disregard for the lives he supposedly cherished, all because they became inconvenient to his desires.
This case really forces you to confront how easily appearances can be manipulated and how devastating the truth can be when it finally surfaces. The monster wasn't an outside threat. He was inside the house all along.
And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How far can someone go to protect their lives, their image? What secrets might be hidden behind other perfect lives we see around us?
A truly chilling thought. We hope this deep dive into the Coleman case has given you something to reflect on. If you found this story compelling, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more explorations into these dark cases. Until next time, stay safe.